Welcome to Elections 101 in 5, your guide for concise information about Nigeria's electoral process. It's brought to you by YAGA Africa and supported by the UNDP. My name is Samson Itodo, and let's get straight into the question of the day. What are the contents of an election petition? What are the contents of an election petition? We hit the streets to ask Nigerians about their views and listen to what they told us.
I think first and foremost is the candidate should be sure that he or she is supposed to win the election.
If heading to the courts, or maybe you want to challenge the case in the courts, if your other candidate or opponent is not qualified or is having issue of fraud, these are things you should add up to when going to courts.
Yes, elections may have come and gone, but the entire process is not concluded yet, because candidates and political parties have filed cases in court to challenge the outcome of elections at different levels. Now, challenging the outcome of an election declared by INEC requires fulfilling certain conditions. These conditions must be met by anyone who is questioning or challenging the outcome of an election. And if these conditions are not met, the case will fail. The court will strike out a case if the petition fails to adhere to these conditions. One of such conditions is that the content of the petition must conform with the requirements expressly listed in the Electoral Act, because the content of a petition are already articulated in the provisions of the Electoral Act. So what then are the contents of an election petition? And as a voter, this information is important for you. So first, the petition must have the parties interested in the petition, and those parties must be specifically mentioned in the petition. So the person filing a case to challenge an election must state in his or her petition all the parties, and this will include the petitioner, and that's the person filing the lawsuit or challenging the election, as well as the respondent. In previous episode of Election 101, we explained respondents. The second content of an election petition is the right to present the election petition is important to be stated and expressly mentioned in the provisions of the petition. Now, the petitioner, that's the person who is challenging the outcome of the election, must establish that it is within their right to challenge the outcome of an election by virtue of their involvement or participation in an election. So that's the second content. The third content of a petition is that the petition must state the date of the election. And it's important because before the courts will determine the petition, it is important that the petition is filed within a time frame stated in the law. So by stating the date the election took place, the court can determine whether the petition was filed within the required time frame. Fourthly, the scores of each candidate in the election must be provided in the petition. And then the person declared the winner of the election by INEC must also be mentioned and stated in the petition. The sixth content of an election petition is the grounds for challenging the outcome of the election as provided in the Electoral Act. So you've got to state the justification, the reason why you are challenging the outcome of an election. That's one content for an election petition. The seventh is the relief sought by the petitioner. So the remedy. So what's your prayer? What's your demand, from the court based on the issues that you have articulated in your election petition? And lastly, the petition must be signed by the petitioner or the person who is filing the case to challenge the outcome of an election. And that's Elections 101 in 5. Now you know the content of an election petition. If you're a candidate or a political party who intends to challenge the outcome of an election, it is important that your petition contains these issues that we have highlighted in this episode. So thanks for watching. You can reach us through the social media handles as well as the emails. Talk to us, tell us which issues you want us to address, and if you have any questions, please reach us. We want to thank all those who have been contacting us since the beginning of this show. We'd love to hear from you. My name is Samson Itodo. See you next time.